The automobile. It's something that impacts the lives of all 8 billion people every single day. An invention that has taken an expedition into travel and transportation. Ever since its birth, people have asked the question of how cars will change and how they will change transportation. The past 100 years of exploration have led to new discoveries and new experiences that will continue to shape the future. The car's origin began with vision. Man began to imagine a world where transportation was effective. Letters could be delivered faster, emergencies could be handled briefer, distances could be covered quicker. This story is one that involves us today and will continue to be part of us for generations to come. The expedition of the car is just beginning.
Ferdinand Verbius, a Jesuit born and living in China, is said to have built the first steam-powered vehicle in 1672. Born in 1623, Ferdinand became close friends with Emperor Kangxi of China. As a toy for this Chinese emperor, Ferdinand built a steam-powered vehicle in a small enough scale that it could not hold a passenger. From this point on, the search for a steam-powered self-propelled vehicle large enough to transport people had begun. Born in France and trained as a military engineer, Nicolas Joseph Cugnot designed and built the world's first automobile. Initially used for hauling artillery, Cugnot built 2 steam-propelled tractors. The first built in 1769, and the second was built in 1770. Cugnot's second automobile is held in the National Conservatory of Arts and Crafts in Paris. German mechanical engineer Carl Benz designed and later built the first practical automobile powered by an internal combustion engine. Born in 1844 in Germany, Carl Benz attended the Karlsruhe Polytechnic University. Benz began his work on the 2-stroke engine and his automobile, a 3-wheel motor, first ran in Mannheim in 1885. Carl received his first patent for a gas-fueled car in January 1886. Carl Benz built the first 4-wheeled car in 1891. By 1900, Benz & Company, Carl Benz Automobile Company, became the world's largest manufacturer of automobiles. The Mercedes 35 horsepower was built in 1900. It became the first passenger car with a similar layout to today's cars. Bertha Benz was not only Carl Benz's wife, but also his business partner. She brought the company worldwide attention. When Carl Benz did not act upon advertising his car, Bertha took matters into her own hands. Without informing Carl, Bertha took a patent motor wagon No. 3 automobile. She set off with her 2 sons, traveling 65 miles in under 12 hours. Her epic journey proved to be the first long-course trip in an automobile. By doing so, Bertha Benz brought the Benz Company worldwide attention. Ever since, Mercedes-Benz Auto Company has continued to explore driving technology.
The automobile industry in America began promptly in 1896. Brothers Charles and Frank Duryea, who owned Duryea Motor Wagon Company, became the first Americans to build and sell automobiles. The first Duryea automobiles proved to be America's first manufactured gasoline-powered engine vehicles. Despite the Duryea Motor Wagon Company, the commercial automotive industry was fairly small. In 1901, the Oldsmobile Company, who would become GM, built the 3-horsepower curved dash Oldsmobile. This automobile is credited of being the first automobile produced and sold in masses. Between 1901 and 1907, the Oldsmobile Company sold over 19,000 cars due to the concept of the assembly line, which opened up a new era in the car building industry. Henry Ford is responsible of transforming the automobile industry from unknown industry to an innovation that would prove to shape the course of history. Born in 1863 on an ordinary farm in Dearborn, Michigan, Henry displayed leadership characteristics from an early age. In 1879, Henry Ford became an apprentice at the Michigan Car Company, opening his eyes to the car building industry. In 1903, the Ford Motor Company was incorporated. Beginning with the Model A, the Ford industry followed with a series of developed models. The Ford Model T was introduced in 1908.
Once the Model T came into existence in 1908, the world changed. Henry Ford wanted to create a car where the common man could afford it. Mr. Ford said, "I will build a car for the great multitude. No man making a good salary will be unable to own one and enjoy with his family the blessings of hours of pleasure in God's wide open spaces." By having this purpose in mind, Ford established things that are common today. Ford began by promoting the assembly line. This line created thousands of jobs for men, as well as women and minorities. The assembly line also made it possible for the price of cars to come down, as well as improving the efficiency of manufacturing. The Model T also established the 8-hour workday as a minimum wage, which was $5. At that time, the Model T was only 20 horsepower and reached a speed of 45 miles per hour. Even though this 20 horsepower was not giant in today's standard, this was a massive jump for a farmer who was doing labor with 1 or 2 horses. By 1921, the Model T made up 57% of all vehicles. This dominant percentage was the one that permitted customization to take off and is the one that established the steering wheel on the left side. Once this car, alongside other cars such as Buicks, truly became affordable and popular for the common man, the roads of America began to breathe life. In 1818, the first federally funded road, the National Road, also known as Route 40, was completed. This 10-mile road was a milestone that would be the beginning of modern transportation. 100 years later, the car had taken over the nation. People realized that roads were necessary not just for carriage, but for the car also. In the 1920s, federal aid became available for roads in order to meet the needs of the automobile. In the next 100 years, the 4.09 millions of miles of roads that we have today in the U.S. were built. Today, there are 64 million kilometers of roads around the world that allow for transportation to happen efficiently. The automobile was the invention that allowed for orderly travel. This invention made delivering packages and visiting relatives easy. As transportation improves, new cars continue the legacy of innovation. Today, cars are being reimagined to be more efficient and environmentally friendly. Today, cars are rewriting history again. As technology is progressing, the limits for transportation are being tested again. Things that have been dreams for years are slowly becoming possible. The electric car is finally taking off. Huge brands like Ford, Chevy, BMW, and Tesla are pioneering the future of clean energy. Tesla is leading this run by bringing and commercializing cars that are fully electric and some semi-self-driving. These cars bring the power and performance of gasoline-powered cars, all while being 100% electric. As these cars take off, backed by hungry customers, infrastructure follows. Charging plants all over the nation are beginning to spring up in order to make this electric dream a reality. Not only are electric cars defining our future, but companies are pushing the limits of driving itself. Companies want to make transportation autonomous. Self-driving cars have been invested in tremendously over the past few years. Massive companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Volvo, Tesla, and Mercedes-Benz have invested into this project. Techniques and visions are shared and demonstrated by these companies and their prototypes. The gift the car brought us, giving us an easy way to travel, is now being reimagined by allowing for a safer and better experience.
The innovation of the automobile from the 18th century to today has caused an incredible impact on all of humanity. The growth of the automobile industry in America caused a positive economic revolution. This demand and industry led to thousands of new jobs, new land to discover, and a new social mindset. Urban settlers were given a realistic opportunity to discover pristine land, and it provided ways of transportation and exchange of goods from rural cities and towns. The automobile plays a critical role for everyday life in today's world. It has shaped the culture and way of life across the world, especially in the United States.